welcome back to another episode of International Cuisine. We are going to get into this week. We're just going to spend 1 week on it. I did get enough responses in my last Google question that it seemed like people were interested in some German cuisine. So that's where we're at. We are going to mess with some German cuisine. I'm going to make something that I think is very approachable for you to understand and enjoy. So what we're going to make is Spaetzel. All right. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm sure I'm butchering it. In the United States, we technically pronounce it Spaetzel. But if you're over in Germany, the A is more accentuated, and it would be Spaetzel. All right. And then we're also going to make something called, again, in the States, we would probably pronounce it Wiener Schnitzel, right? But over in Germany or Austria, in that area, they proudly pronounce it Wiener Schnitzel, I think. I'm sure those taking German can probably correct me on that. But we are going to make Wiener Schnitzel, which is basically a thin breaded cutlet. We're going to use chicken. You can use veal, you can use pork, you can use chicken. We're going to be using chicken. So we're going to do a breaded Wiener Schnitzel, as well as some Spaetzel. And just pretty much plain Spaetzel is like a dumpling, if you will, like a very fine, minute, tiny little dumpling that is boiled in water first until it rises, and then you scoop it out of the water, and then you fry it in some burnt noisette or brown butter. Okay, so let's get into it. What we have here, always better to measure things by weight. All right, so this is 250 grams of flour. All right, I use my trusty little Taylor scale over here. If you don't have that, it's a little less, let's just say a scant 2 cups of flour. Okay. Always sift, always a good idea to sift your flour. You're going to get out any lumps, and you're also going to incorporate a little bit of air. And also, this is just what the recipe says. So, all right. Now, in here I have, it just says in the recipe that I looked up, it has 4 pinches of salt and 4 pinches of nutmeg. All right, so this is my 4 pinches of both. I'm gonna go ahead and put that into my dry ingredients as well. Here I have some chopped thyme, okay? I chopped it up, picked out all the big stems, and I'm gonna add that in as well. Not part of the recipe, this is something that I am doing. All right, and then lastly, I have 3 eggs, and I have what they're calling 30 or 80 milliliters of water, 80 to 100. So that's 3 ounces. I have 3 ounces by weight of water, warm water. Okay, so let's go ahead and get my rubber or my wooden spoon ready. Stir those ingredients in. Again, this is no leavening agent in this whatsoever. This is just a dumpling dough. Okay, we are back. Sorry, that's somebody was trying to call me. I'm trying to fast call that person back because it's my wife, who's not here right now. She's with the kids. And I figured I'd take this quiet moment in my house. I'm trying to get a video done. Alright, I did a horrible job of cracking these eggs. Hopefully you do better. So I'm picking out some of the shells I have here. Always a good idea. You're going to use the shell to break that surface tension and get out the shell. All right, we're good there. So I'm just going to go ahead and use a fork. This guy's doing a quick eating. I'd rather do it here in a cup than do it in the dough itself. Okay, put that in. The only thing I did not add yet is actually the black pepper. That's a good idea. Throw a little bit of black pepper in as well. Alright, let's start bringing this dough together. And again, just starting in the middle of it and bring the stuff on the sides in. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to add about half the water. And we're going to see how much of the water I actually need. Okay, it's getting a little dry. A little more water. That's probably about 80 milliliters. It says 80 to 100 because obviously it depends on your eggs, how big they are. Alright, this looks pretty good. Looks kind of like a dough. It's going to be a little looser than like a bread dough and not quite as thin as a batter. It's going to be kind of in between that. And you want to be able to push this through a Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Again, my wife was calling me because the Easter Bunny's coming down the street. So she wanted me to get a picture. Anyway, that is my Spaetzel dough. I'm going to leave it there. I even have a little bit of water left over. I'm not going to use it all. Okay. It's a little bit wet. It's not quite a batter. It's not quite a dough. All right. It's almost like Play-Doh consistency. This is going to enable me to push it through the box grater or the grater, and the grater is going to make little tiny dumplings. Okay, we'll be back when we get the water boiling. Back again as we're waiting for our water to boil for our dumplings or our Spaetzel. See, the dough is resting a little bit. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and start breading my chicken schnitzel. Standard breading procedure, okay? Quite simply, let me go over it with you. Flour, season, salt and pepper. Egg wash, about 4 eggs, half a cup of water, all beaten together until it's nice and homogenized. Breadcrumbs. I'm using a combination of both panko and Italian with Romano cheese breadcrumbs. I like the combination of both. The panko is going to give you a little bit more crispiness, really absorb some more moisture. And the Italian breadcrumbs is going to give you a little bit more flavor and seasoning. To this, I added just salt and pepper. That's it. All right, couple shakes. You can see my chicken breast. I got to break this down. I'm going to go ahead and fillet it basically vertically. At least cut it in half, maybe even thirds, and then we're going to pound it out. All right, for that, I am just going to go ahead and do a time lapse. Okay? Be back. Okay, we are back. You can see where I left off. I pounded out the chicken by wrapping in plastic wrap. Of course, giving a little bit of a seasoning first, just with some salt and pepper. And then I pounded it out with a rolling pin. All right, if you have a meat cleaver, that would be great too. However, rolling pin works just as well, or just as fine. Okay, now standing breading procedure. Hopefully just going to need one hand for this. I'm going to dip my now pounded thin cut chicken into the flour dredge, right? 2 hands would be great because you can shake off the excess a little better. Then I'm going to go ahead and dip it into my egg wash, making sure to get both sides. And then lastly, into the breadcrumb. That's basically it, okay? I'm gonna wait a little bit to fry these. The longer it sits in this breadcrumb, the better. It'll stick to it more if you actually put this in the fridge just for a little bit. Kind of like when you're doing fried chicken. Okay, my water is boiling. I need to finish breading my chicken though, and I will get back to this. The mise en place that I have, let me turn this off. My whole hood was starting to steam up a little bit. The mise en place I have for this part of the recipe is a grater of some sort, something with some large holes like that. I need to season my water a little bit with some salt. All right, and I have a lightly greased bowl here with some olive oil. Because as they come out of the water, I need somewhere to put them, right? And then lastly, I'm going to use this little scooper guy to kind of get them out of the water as they float. All right, now I take my dough. Unfortunately, I got to do this a little bit at a time because the box grater that I have isn't very big, right? Probably just going to use my hands. for this first part. Take a bit of your dough. All right, put it right on top of here. Okay, take something with a flat surface and just kind of push it through, weaving it back and forth. And in theory, it should start to drop. Into the boiling water. Okay, we are back. Getting into our Spaetzel first. All right, back here I have my oiled pan ready to fry my Wiener Schnitzel. Actually, turn that on, you start getting that oil hot. And in here I have my pan getting hot. You can see I got a little bit of butter in there already. I want to make a burn noisettes. Pan's starting to smoke. My Spaetzel, I got a little bit of thyme and a little bit of garlic. All right. Let's get to it. So a beurre noisette is simply a brown butter, okay? Fancy French way of saying brown butter. What we're going to do is just caramelize the milk solids in the butter. You're going to smell like a little nutty, toasted aroma as we do this. All right, just like we did before, we've made gnocchi in the past, which is basically a dumpling dough as well. All right, so you take your dumpling, right, boiled it or you blanched it, right, to kind of form it, and now you're going to sear it in some brown butter. My Spaetzel sizes aren't perfect. I got some big chunkers here, which isn't a big deal. I'm gonna lay them down into my brown butter. And hopefully everything gets nicely coated. And I'm not gonna really move it too much. I'm gonna basically just let it sear. I'm gonna let it puff up. It's all on high heat. Turn it down slightly. Give it a little seasoning of salt. Probably just going to use 1 clove of minced garlic. And the reason I'm going to use minced garlic this time instead of sliced is because it's going in at the end, not the beginning. So, or towards the end, I should say. So I want something minced that gets kind of lost in there. Okay, cracked pepper. Notice I still haven't really tossed it yet. I'll give it a little peek. Let's see what it looks like. See how it's nice and browned on at least one side? That's what we're going for. Toasted dumplings. Now I smell that garlic in there. All right, right now it's still kind of raw, but that's okay. Let that toast hopefully on the other side. All right, I switched my pans around so you can see me fry at least the first batch of Wiener Schnitzel. Spaetzel still toasting. It's almost done. But we're gonna get into the frying of the chicken at this point. Now my chicken sat out, or sat in the fridge rather, for about 2 hours with this breading on it. What I'm looking to do is actually, the reason I do that is because I actually want to, the breading to adhere nicely to the chicken, so that when you go to cut into it, it doesn't just fall off. I'm sure I don't know if you have or not, maybe you made fried chicken at home. You've had that experience where you bite into the chicken and it just falls right off and it's just not as enjoyable. So one of the tricks are to let it sit in your fridge with the breading. See, this is cooking fast. All right. If you think it's too fast because your oil's too hot, you can always finish it in the oven. So don't panic, don't get nervous if you're worried about it being raw in the middle. Might pop at you a little bit. It's okay, it's not angry. First piece. Looks delightful. Okay, now my Wiener Schnitzel is cooked, right? My Spaetzel is fried with toasted in brown butter. You can finish this with some Parmesan cheese, a little lemon zest, however you feel you want to go about it. Traditionally, this would be served with just a wedge of lemon, and that is it. No sauce, no nothing. It's basically a panade or a pounded chicken breast that is breaded and deep fried and then served with fresh lemon. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna let you go now. I'll show you the finished plate at the end.